Yo, yo.
What up? What up?
Hey, there we go. Yo, what up, Light Bright? Let me share this one more time, too. Grand rising to you guys. We can get this shit popping again, though.
All right, let's try this again.
Let's give it another shot.
Everybody, welcome to another Think High Crew episode.
What up,
Uh,
Poetic?
another Mindset and Mindful Monday.
Hey, crazy lady. Hey, Mindset Mindful Monday. Let's get it cracking, though. Megawatt, I know you was in here. I just seen it.
So I don't know what happened with that first try. I don't know. It's like I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. My neighbor has decided to babysit another fucking dog. So, I ain't got nothing against dogs. Everybody should
Right.
know that. I lost both of my dogs not too long ago, but this lady over here, bro, look, this lady had a stroke, tried to drive herself to the hospital, had a wreck,
Wow.
stayed in the hospital until she left there, and then went and they found out that she had a lesion or something like that on her brain. So then
God
she had
damn.
stayed in the hospital and then went to rehab and then ended up leaving the rehab and coming home, and she's staying over there by herself, and now she's babysitting somebody else's dog.
Man.
And I'm just like, what is going on here, bro? You know what I mean? Like, what is
Grand,
really going on
Grand
here?
Rising, Mindfulness Monday. I don't know. That's a good question. That's why we have these days for that. What's really going on here? What are
Yeah,
we being
man.
mindful today?
I mean,
You said the
because the
word for
lady
today is
the
clarity.
lady is like really, really let's say hard headed. She's 73 years old, and I've asked her tons of times, "Do you need some help with that? You need some help with that?" Oh, no, 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 no. And she's like, "I don't pay anybody to do anything. I do it myself." And so just think about her being in a hospital and then in a rehab facility trying to get her back so she could walk and stuff like that. Her will to live is extremely strong. You know what I mean? To the point where she was like, I got to get the fuck out of this place, and I'd rather go home and deal with whatever I got to deal with at my house
Right.
by myself. So that's probably how I'd be too.
Yeah. Understandable. You know what I mean? Like they come from a different generation. You know what I mean? Like my dad, that just me having to help my dad recently, I could see it in his face. He like, man, I'm getting tired of this shit. Like I want to be able to do everything myself. You know what I mean? So it's just a thing from that, from that type of generation. Like even my homie's dad, my homie Benji's dad, this dude fucking damn near 100 years old. He could still damn near build you damn near a fucking house with his bare hands, just because that's the generation he came from. Um, it's just nuts. You know what I mean to think about. But yeah,
Yep.
would you say today, man? You said something to me today about I think you said today's episode will be about clarity, not necessarily the book, but I mean we could get into it in general as well.
Yeah, I just thought that those were some good talking points, and maybe get people's mind off of maybe some other shit that they're being pumped full of. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure. I think that's a
Um,
good topic for today. And actually, if you want, we can get it cracking with some numbers to show you why.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
All right, well, shit. What's up, everybody in the room? I see y'all down there. Hi, poetic, crazy lady, light bright. How y'all doing today? What's up, Grand Rising Megawatt? How you doing? You there, Megawatt? Maybe
Might be
she's
a
not.
negative on that.
All good, all good. But we back with another Mindset Mindfulness Monday.
Were you talking to
This
me?
Monday. Oh yeah, I was talking to you.
It
Yeah, how
cut
you doing,
out.
Grand Rising?
All I heard was "let's get it cracking," and then boom, it was gone.
Yeah, we definitely got a little bit of connection issues going on, but we'll definitely get into that. Yeah, I was just saying, Grand Rising, how you doing?
Grand Rising, good day, humans. How is everyone?
Oh shit, man, it was a crazy weekend for me because it was the Massillon McKinley game. A lot of people might not know about that, but this place where I live is called Canton, Ohio. It's the birthplace of football and where the Football Hall
We
of
know
Fame.
about all that.
Oh my goodness, so you know. I think you secretly an Ohioan. But we had the Massillon McKinley game, which is almost like it's almost ritualistic, but
all football games are. What are you talking
oh
about?
yeah, but like seeing that like the Canton Bulldogs and the Massillon Tigers were the very first professional football teams ever created, and like it happened in this city, and you know Canton being as Masonic as it is, it's just a wild weekend.
It has some racial tensions, if I'm not mistaken, though, bro.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you got the football going on with a lot of different ethnicities, playing the football, but it's not really okay to play. They're okay to play it, but that's about it.
Oh man, it was fights and everything. You know what I mean? Like it was just the energy is just, you know what I mean, a whole different energy, and they build it up for a whole week. You know what I mean? And it's the only like high school football game, well, one of the only high school football games that gets bet on in Vegas and shit. So like they've been doing this type of shit for years. So it was just a wild weekend energy wise on my end. But other than that, I'm doing all right. And Nova's dealing with a neighbor who's babysitting the dog.
Somebody's making hot toddies and stuff. I don't know about who's doing that.
Who's making hot toddies? I'm not making any hot toddies.
No.
Nah, I had one the other day. The thing was great, but it was amazing.
Yeah,
Tiana said I think Tiana had put on Facebook that she was looking for a good hot toddy. I don't even know what the fuck. I chilled the other day. I ain't know what the fuck a hot toddy was. We were eating, and I saw some people getting like these big ass ladlefuls of just big. I thought it was a soup, honestly. And so we ended up getting one, and ever since then we've just been saying hot toddy, I want a toddy, I want a toddy.
But yeah, that was my weekend.
But Tiana, she was my wife was going through, well, she's right now going through those cramps that time of the month. And so she woke up, bro. I woke up like what 4 a.m. this morning, wondering where the fuck she was. I woke up in the bed like, where the hell is she at? I'm like, where you at? She's like, I'm on the couch. I don't feel good.
Hot toddy.
So then she was like, if I had a hot toddy right now, it'd probably help with this pain, because she don't really take nothing for pain. You know what I mean? We try to
like a bowl every morning. What are you talking about? Taking stuff for pain? Wait, what?
Oh yeah, weed don't really help with pain though, like that.
Oh, it doesn't?
Well, more on the edible side would, or if it was like a salve or a rub on. Normally,
but this period cramps though. This is a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
I know about those. Yes.
Yeah, when you consume it by smoking cannabis, it's more of a mental, like it's more of a medicine for like anxiety and other shit like that. A lot of people use it to help control their diets. There's we have a whole endocannabinoid system that responds to
mild pain.
Mild. But like if you were
gonna like that, nah, it ain't gonna.
Nah, she would need like a rub on or something that she would have to rub on her muscles. That would do it, or edible might. You know what I mean?
That ain't gonna do it. That ain't even gonna do it. You either need a hot toddy or a heating pad, or a morphine drip.
Either way, Well, we back. Mindfulness Monday, motherfuckers, with the guys you love to hate, or the gods you love to hate, gods and goddesses you love to hate, and the ones that you hate to love. Think High Crew. Appreciate everybody for stopping by in this motherfucker. Today's Monday, October the 23rd, and we about to dive into some shit today.
10,
Today's at number 4.
9,
Oh
8,
shit, I should have waited.
7,
Let's go.
6,
We here.
5,
Let's go.
4, 3, 2.
Time to charge up,
1.
bitches. Monday,
All right.
October the 23rd, 2023. Today is a 4. 10 plus 23 plus 2023 equals 2056. 2 plus 0 plus 5 plus 6 equals 13, and 13 equals 4. Today's focus will be on the future, meticulously creating something to serve a secure foundation from which the future can expand. Thus, details and procedures are of higher importance. There's a focus to dedication and an attentiveness atmosphere felt by many. To dive into that number 4, I call it 4, the door, the portal.
Hot toddy.
Hot toddy. The 4 won't bring a lot of charm and poison to the mix, but there is a potential to get a lot done. There's substance and determination there, and a lot of drive to accomplish your goals. That might be a stumbling block too, because even though 4 pushes you to work hard and apply yourself, you're unlikely to see immediate results. So if you let that get to you, if you're an impatient person, then the insecurities and self-doubt might well undermine your progress that you're trying to make. So stay in tune into the long-term goal and do not look forward for just attention. It's not a day for trying new things or going off on unfamiliar tangent. 4's energy is one of traditional and conventionality. So stay true to who you are. Do how you work, move how you move. Leave chasing after something radical for another time. This is for your transformation. That's why they could call it 4 the doors, the portal. It's a transformation in your journey. There's a bit of tactlessness. So like bit of what you want to say, gun-hoing it around the number 4 too, because it doesn't dress things up to make them feel pretty. So consider your own words carefully and don't take someone else's assholeness too much to heart. Of course, the real way 4 will influence you today is going to depend on your number, your numerology, your genealogy, where your body and mind and spirit lines up to the stars. So make sure that you are also aware of yourself, and you will better know how to handle today's energy of 4. And with that being said, understanding something very familiar and bringing us back around to something to kind of pull us back into ourselves, clarity would probably be the word of today. Clarity would be the quality of being coherent and intangible, or the quality of transparency or purity. So that's going to kind of
And with clarity,
yeah,
the numbers with the what megawatt helps us get a little bit of clarity,
yes,
right?
it does. So I know Megawatt got some stars, moons, and maybe even a card or so for us. So what's good? Let us in on clarify a little something for us today.
First of all, humans, I just want to know if my headset sounds
Yeah,
better or not.
I can hear you.
I have a new headset, so
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, I just don't hear a bunch of racket, so it sounds great.
okay.
That other one, I don't know what it was, but it just always sounded like the motherfucker was just going.
Well, it's probably catching it was probably a good mic. It's probably catching just some shit going on. I know mine be catching my beard hitting it. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just checking.
Yeah, her beard might have been.
I haven't shaved yet. So sorry, guys. Anyways,
That's bad when you got to shave every damn day. Whew.
well, sorry about that. So we have the sun who's just moved into Scorpio. It's in 0 degrees Scorpio. And we have the moon, which is in Aquarius. And that is a really interesting combination. It's not an easy one. I would say definitely uncomfortable. And again, for me, what I would tell you is more polarization. you're either going to find someone who's very synced in and is just dialed into what they need to know and what they need to be doing, or you're going to find someone who's just completely lost and disoriented. I don't really think you're going to see a lot down the middle. It could feel a little zombie-ish out there. Aquarius is, as a moon sign, is very disconnected and not emotionally available. So you may see people who are normally fairly emotionally savvy to be just kind of out of control or not aware of what's going on around them. Mercury has also joined them in Scorpio. So you're going to see a need to talk about really deep stuff, issues that are at hand, like polarizing topics like war, sexuality, money, finances, taxes, things that people typically will want to avoid having intimate conversation about. It will come up as a need to be doing that. And the better you can speak to it and the better you can formulate, what's going on for yourself, the better results that you're going to get. So it definitely could be uncomfortable. And I would just say, if you find that you can't deal with it, just pull your energy back to yourself and keep it with yourself, because it's a very unusual combination. Scorpio is a water sign and Aquarius is an air sign, and a lot of times those are hard to maneuver together. If the people have those as a personal planet rotation, it takes them a long time, well into their 40s, to be able to, deal with those two planets. So,
Gotcha. Well, beware.
Yeah, be mindful.
I wouldn't say beware. I would just say be aware is how I would put it. I know yesterday was a little bit of a challenge for me, but hopefully it wasn't, too bad for y'all. I have a couple cards that just jumped out. Let me see what they are.
I went on a shopping spree yesterday, so Monday was pretty damn hectic, to be honest with you. Pretty hectic.
Ooh,
Shopping spree at Walmart.
How was the Walmart?
Oh, Walmart's Walmart.
Molly
Now.
work.
Yeah, that motherfucker. You better go in
Walmart's
that
a new
bitch ready to
Walmart.
fight sometimes. You know how it is. You got to go in there ready for anything. Shit, you never know.
It's interesting because the cards that came out literally, like, they flipped out and like onto the floor, so I had to reach over and get them. But it's the 7 of Cups and the 8 of Cups. Cups deal with your emotion. So you're going to have people, like I said earlier, who are really into like fantasy, wishful thinking, temptation, needing, wanting to move forward but not having a direction, and feeling, sort of blocked by that option. And then also wanting to just walk away, just like, I don't care about this anymore. If it's not working for me, I'm just going to leave it, like, so if you can move, exercise, or do something constructive with your body, you may feel some of that resolve and some improvement in that area. But it's definitely not a day for binge watching and spending all day on the couch. So just be mindful of your emotions, and that will make you better able to handle whatever is going on for yourself.
Get up off of that thing. Today is about clarity, boy. See, in what's so dope about this shit, guys, is that we don't sit back behind closed curtains and doors and try to come up with topics. We kind of let the collective consciousness dictate what's going on. And a lot of times, we come to these shows, these mindfulness Mondays, and we talk about what's going on in the world and what's happening out there. But everybody, as you can hear with the numbers and the motherfucking stars and the moon says, that's what's going to be out there. It's up to you if you want to indulge in it. So today we wanted to talk more about, self, how to make this all clear, because, we talk a lot of shit and there's a lot of fucking things out there that's happening, and we want to make
you would think with all the gurus out here,
right,
we would have some clarity and some peace, right? But it ain't like that. So
Absolutely. Thank you, Noble.
I think the gurus are full of shit.
Well, I think that it's a oh, go ahead, Megan. I'm sorry.
I think they got a lot of good knowledge, but they're full of shit.
Well, here's the
You
thing
know.
though. If you're looking to a guru for that sort of direction and grounding, you've already lost the
Right.
battle because the guru is within yourself,
For
it is
sure.
you. And if you're looking for outside influences, it's fine, to get some directional,
Mm-hmm.
information from numbers and planets and
Mm-hmm.
the collective feeling of what's going on. But
Right.
if
How
the
you feel about
direction,
Jesus then?
yeah,
Well, wait. Before you dive into that, I wanted to
I
say,
just wanted to.
okay, yeah,
Because
yeah.
as far as gurus, he's one of the guru of all gurus. So how you feel about that?
for me, I feel like he is somebody that is a character in a story, which he
Mm-hmm.
is, and that you can learn from mistakes that he made and things that he was succeeded on. I don't think it's any more than that. I think
Okay.
that people see him as a being above people, and
Right.
I think they do that because they don't have a place to put him. He's
Well,
not.
see, oh my gosh, see, and that's what's
Okay,
so.
so
Wait, hold on. No, because you asked that question, it's crazy. Because what I was gonna say before you asked that question was something that you was a talking point. Was like inside gaining clarity. There's a lot of things that you have to do for yourself, but
Mhm.
we could all agree that taking responsibility would be part of gaining clarity. And I think that with the Jesus thing, what she was talking about is the people put them above themselves is because of the level of responsibility you would have to hold yourself to.
That's why these strict religions and these orthodox mindsets, that's why people use them, is because I can take myself out of positions of control for myself and I put something else in place. Jehovah's Witness, Scientology, Mormonism, Catholicism, this directs my every action, my thoughts, whatever I'm doing, how I spend my money, and it absolves the person of personal responsibility. This is the problem. And the problem is that within these religions, you don't know who's running them. So while you might not have your own personal responsibility for yourself, you don't know what they're causing you to do, causing you to think, or causing you to act on.
I can agree.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I can agree with that. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, no, but I just thought it was like, you know what I mean, it just coexists because that was one of our first talking points. So if we're breaking down for our listeners and the people out there who are listening, you can chime in. Where do you find clarity? What things within you build this clear picture that you see in front of you, this clear path
Yeah,
that you
where
see in
would
front
you,
of you?
and also like where would you think that you need to start to find clarity?
Right.
And
And
what
that's
we
it.
think is what we're coming with is responsibility
That's
of
one. That's one of them. That's one of
taking,
the. Yeah, you
and
have to take responsibility.
that might be the ground foundation. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
that's something to build on. I mean, obviously, it might be, and then taking responsibility might obviously be different for everybody. You know what I mean? So, like, we can't, I'm not telling you what to do, guys, because it's going to be,
Right. That's why I
what
just leave it open. Take responsibility of whatever.
yeah, because for someone like me, it might be take more responsibility of something that that's more in physical. You know what I mean? Because I spend a lot of time inside of myself. You know what I mean? So then a lot of house tasks and shit don't get done. A lot of shit that gets put on the back burner. You know what I mean? Like I gotta rake my lawn because it's actual fall up here in Ohio and the leaves are everywhere, and I haven't had the time to
But
do that because I'm
but
doing
do
this and
you
doing
have
that.
to rake your lawn? That's a better question. Is that really
Yeah,
a thing?
hey, you're right. You're absolutely right. I really don't. You know
You
what I'm
don't,
saying? You're
because if
right.
you really think about it, the
Mm-hmm.
leaves, they decompose and they go
Mm-hmm.
back into the earth, and then they're
Mm-hmm.
made of something
Well,
mulch.
normally I don't because my kids like to fucking put them in a pile and jump in them. So like
Yeah,
that's the
sure.
reason why I
Yeah.
don't. You know what I mean?
But
But
if you leave them leaves there too long, you're gonna
yeah,
have a bunch of damn bugs and
dead
shit.
that too, and you could kill like,
Ants.
and
You
for some
will,
reason
but
there's
you don't have
something.
you can leave your yard over the winter, and it creates a little blanket for the yard.
Yeah. What up, Mr. B? Great. Sometimes what's so crazy though is like it's weird depending on where you are because sometimes leaves can, if you pile them up or if they get too high in a certain spot, it'll kill that grass in that area. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, the
um,
leaves are depending on what type, but where I live at,
yes,
there's a lot of oak trees. So the oak tree leaves are real acidic. So it's actually good for the ground. But you could have some that don't have any properties like that at all, and all
yes.
they're going to
Well,
do is just kill the grass because they won't let sun hit it.
yeah. So, but that's just when it comes
That's
to
a little
me. So,
clarity.
a little clarity, you know what I mean, a little bit of clearing that up. But yeah, it starts with responsibility. So that word right there is more like a self responsibility. You have to take, so whatever you're doing and whatever you're trying to achieve in your purpose for your existence here, um, responsibility is a big part of gaining that clarity. So it's hard to have that responsibility if you've given that to an outside entity that doesn't necessarily have your best interest at heart. So
Right.
so now that covers damn near 80% of the world. You know what I mean? Hey, Mr. Great, Mr. B Great. Um, that covers a lot of percent of the world when it comes to that. So there's no self responsibility in a lot of these religions. Either there's none or there's so much that you're really declared. Most of these religions, like, they try to make you feel unworthy of being, you know, what you truly are. And that again takes away, all right, well, now, you know what I mean, since I'm not worthy, no matter what, you know what I mean, like, it takes away the responsibility of you actually becoming something better for yourself. Um, what was it?
Exactly.
And that's wild
Exactly.
because if you're gonna have clarity, then that's wild that doesn't come with a lot of the fucking. Oh, Bitcoin's up 5%. I just got the alert.
But
My
you know
bad.
what though? So I guess to make sense of where we're going next. So if you get down to it and you're like, all right, I need to take responsibility for me and everything
Mm-hmm.
that I do, everything I choose to do, and I don't need to blame anybody else for anything that's going on with my life. It might have a impact on me, but at this point, I just need to take responsibility for what I know I can control. You know what I
Right.
mean? And in doing that, you're going to find out probably that something's got to give.
Yep.
And because if you come to terms with, all right, time for me to take responsibility for myself, right? Then you're going to have to give up something,
Yeah.
period. One way or another, somehow, some way that you live your life, you're going to find out that something's got to give.
And let me help y'all with the metaphysics of that. Just to hit you with some of that, like, the way the energy operates in our reality, our shared reality. Nothing nothing You're not going to get anything without giving something. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to sacrifice. Something's got to give. You got to give up. You got to give up on something. You got to give away something.
You
You
got to
got
make
to
space.
you got to make you got yeah, you have to, because there isn't no way to let anything else in. And that goes with, even through, as above so below. So that even goes, like I said, with the metaphysical. So
Right.
there's going to be something that you have to sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of times, like, people do their mantras and shit. You know what I mean? And I listen to these people and these quote unquote gurus, like we talk about, and they tell you these mantras that you're supposed to speak, and they don't really understand how they work. And a lot of them aren't really aren't the what it's supposed to be. A lot of times, people are like, they're trying to get something like abundance or something from the universe, and so they're commanding the universe. But instead of commanding, you know what I mean, there's certain words that you can use, like, I sacrifice my time for an abundance. You know what I mean? Like, there's other ways that you have to do that, because the way that the energy moves and the way that it works, you cannot, you know get something without giving something up. You got
Right.
something's got to give. Yeah.
And sometimes also it's going to take more than just a thought process or a mantra. it's going to
Yeah.
take you taking one foot and putting that bitch right in front of the other one.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like,
You know
just
what I mean? No,
yeah.
I'm just saying
That's just the levels. Yeah.
from a different spectrum. And then,
Facts.
so I was just wondering, like, if something's got to give, obviously you're going to have to figure out, and that's going to be hard. Like you're going to have to figure out. First of all, you're going to have to take responsibility, and who wants to do that? Honestly,
It takes
I
a lot of
mean,
work.
you know what I mean? So then after that, then you find out, okay, well, since I decided to take responsibility and act like this now, I got to give up this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you could ask yourself, well, why? What are the reasons that you need to give up this stuff or to change this for your life, your
That's why though,
career, your
because
job, whatever?
but that's why you said the magic word change. In order for change to happen, you have to do these things. So, just for an example, like if we take the opportunity that has been presented to us and the possibility, maybe next year of owning our own building and having our own, what you want to say, venue with studios and shit in it. You know what I mean? If this is the path from which we choose to take, then obviously there's going to be shit that we have to give up. But then, like you said, then we have to, when we give up those things, things are going to change. And when things change, then we get uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Humans don't like change.
Right.
We find change, difficult. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? At
Then
the
you
same,
then
yeah,
you
go
come
ahead.
to the time where you've got to, does it weigh right?
Right.
Like is
Yeah.
that change worth the, or risk reward basically? Is
Right.
the risk of me changing myself to something that I might not be comfortable with, is it worth the reward or not? You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you're doing it for somebody else, it's probably not going to last, to be honest with you.
No.
If you're doing it for yourself because you wanted to take responsibility for yourself and you realize that something got to give and you start looking at it in your life, then you probably got a better chance of making
And,
it work
yeah.
than if
And
you
that,
just forced into it by, or you know what I'm saying?
right. But these are steps, in finding the clarity that one needs. So there's no way that you find, no matter what you need clarity in, you know what I mean, which a lot of us, we still need that's something that we seek on a daily thing. So y'all got to know that, seeing the picture for what it is not going to be something that happens overnight. You know what I mean? It's not going to be something that you could just be like, all right, boom, this is what it is, and it's actually going to just happen that way. um Normally, to find clarity, especially in a world that's so full of distractions and smoke and mirrors and false everything, you know what I mean? Like, clarity is the one thing that we can all agree on is something that is hard to obtain. So when you're breaking that shit down on doing that, there's obviously places in everybody's life from which they need to make these changes, and being comfortable with being uncomfortable only forces yourself to evolve, and to that's how you reach the clarity. Without that evolution, you know what I mean, if you just stay where you are without making those moves for yourself, well, no matter what what you want to say topic or your goal is, it starts there. Oh, go ahead, Megawatt. I seen you unmuted your mic.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's interesting how, you know, when people think about making change, they wait until the last minute and then a change is made for you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also seasons within astrology that really force that change
Give
card
them
for
some
you.
clarity on that. Give them some
Hmm.
clarity on that.
Yeah. So, like, whatever sign you are on the opposite end of that sign, the access point, that is an uncomfortable season for you because it's the opposite of when your sun sign is
Mm-hmm.
is present in the sky. And what you're going to find is a lot more issues come up, a lot more turmoil, a lot more emotional things that you have to deal with.
Right.
I'm entering mine right now. Like, as soon as the sun went into Scorpio, that's my polar opposite time. I've had
Right.
issues where I've been sick for a whole season, or I've had, just nothing but problems, or, every
Right.
time I turned around, something isn't working. And it
Right.
took me a long time to figure out that that's propelling me into the front of change.
And that's crazy because you're saying that to help you reach clarity, in this reality that our shared reality. So, just a totally different perspective. Her way of reaching her clarity is using the stars, uh, and the
Mm-hmm.
moon, and the planets, and where they're aligned at compared to where her soul incarnated through. You know what I mean, to get here. So, that's very interesting. And people
Yeah,
don't.
and to
Go
go
ahead, though.
along with
Sorry.
what you were saying, in a more literal sense, the lack of clarity is what creates chaos and frustration.
Woo! One more time for the guys in the back.
So, that's like, just think about it in the whole crypto market, right? That's
Yeah,
the whole thing is like, is the government going to rule this or
the lack
this?
of clarity.
And the lack of clarity keeps people from investing and keeps people from this or that and the third. And then, so that's all we're going to talk about the crypto, or me personally. I was just going there. I
Right.
was
No,
using it
no,
as
I
an
understand.
example. But
Yeah.
also, the lack of clarity that creates chaos and frustration, right?
Hmm.
And so then, kind of what the astrology was pointing to, too, and what you were just saying also is
Yeah.
like, you can't hit a bullseye without a target.
Right.
If you don't know what, like, kind of what she was just saying, if you don't know what you're out for or what you're trying to do or what you're trying to quote unquote manifest, then how can you
Right.
do it?
Well,
And
but
if
a lot
you've
of
got a
people
lot
though,
of chaos,
they
chaos and
wouldn't even.
frustration would create the smoke and mirrors for
Right.
your manifestation to be all over the place and not focused on what you
Right.
should be focused on, the
And
target.
that's a global thing, which is crazy because you know what I mean. Like the lack of clarity on what's actually happening with just even this war as it's a main topic in our world. You know what I mean. Just the lack of clarity on that is why it is
But
what it is because.
it isn't a lack of clarity, because they used their Libra season, which is their
Oh,
season,
well, yeah,
to
I'm
do
not
all
talking
of
about them. I'm talking
yeah.
about the rest of the world's lack of clarity. You know
Yeah.
what I
Well,
mean?
but
Like,
but
Well,
if you were paying attention, they basically just put all their pegs on the pegboard and set
yeah.
them up just for like a game. That
Oh,
game we
yeah.
used to play, like
They
what
see
was it?
very clearly. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They see
right,
very clearly and they know how clearly they see. It's easy to manipulate people who don't see clearly. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And that's why,
right,
like,
because
I
well,
was,
because most
go ahead.
people, if you think about it, man, like, just talking to people, um,
Hmm.
if you really think about talking to people in hard times or advice or whatever, most of the time people cannot tell you exactly what they want in their
Right.
life or their business or whatever, but
Yeah.
they can tell you all the things they don't want,
Yep.
Right.
but they can't really tell you what they want. You know what I mean? So there again, like, it's hard to, you can't hit that fucking bullseye or that target with no
Hmm.
bullseye, vice versa. And so if you don't know what you want,
What I
but
try to
you know
tell
what you,
people is it's okay if you move in a direction and then change your mind. Don't
Right.
get sidetracked by that. You can change your mind and say, I was going over here, but now I think I want to
Right.
go over there. It's okay to do that. That's
Right.
fine.
Right. Well, people don't. People are, but that's again that fear of change. You know what I mean? Leaves them blind.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because now they got to do something uncomfortable again. They got to. So many people ask me, how do you live your life the way you live your life? Like you don't have a regular 9 to 5. You just be hustling all day. Like, wait, how do you know when your next meal is coming from? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? You have when you understand the energy and you have something to sacrifice to the universe, you know what I mean? It automatically comes back to you, like it's going to come back to you. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. But the lack of clarity in how that shit works is how people are easily, manipulated into thinking this is how I have to move. This is who I
exactly.
have to be. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, it's to gain the acceptance. You know what I mean? To be accepted, and whether it's in your career or your peers. And a lot of people just don't want to be alone or by themselves or feel differently than everybody else.
Yeah. Well, once you take the responsibility and then you realize that, some things are going to have to change if you want to be able to move how you're wanting to move nowadays or whatever it is, then you got to ask the question which you used to ask every guest on the
Yeah.
show, but is what's your why? You know what I mean? Like why do you want to take responsibility?
Right.
Why do you realize that something's got to give, and why do you even give a fuck to change it?
Mm-hmm.
And why do you want to even hit a fucking bullseye? What target?
Yeah.
What do you even want to do? Like, what is your why?
And that is a question that I love asking, general people. Like, I ask people why, like, and 9 times out of 10, it's almost like asking people how you doing today, right? Because they're going to give you that general answer. You know what I
That
mean?
basic generic,
Yeah, because they don't have the
like I was
clarity.
saying,
Yeah,
most
Right.
people
but
don't want what they want.
I do
They
I
don't
do
know what they
that.
want.
If somebody asks me how I'm doing, I give them the most generic answer because
Yeah.
whatever is wrong, if there's something wrong, they don't want to hear about. And
Well,
if
you
there's
know what
something
though?
right,
That's because you understand yourself more than, most people understand themselves. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but only because I've had to. I
Right.
didn't wake up one day and go, I really want to understand myself so well that I can, figure
Make
out
everybody
the world.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, no.
Right, I feel you. No, I get it. No, I really, really do. Because I do the same thing. I catch myself doing the same thing because if you were to be completely honest, you would, number one, they don't want to hear it, and at the same time, who would actually give a fuck. But I'm saying, like, when you ask somebody their why, they normally give you, a generic answer. So like if many people we had on the show, like just like people who are big in this crypto shit, for example. Let's just give that because a lot of their whys was the same, and their whys was basically, you know what I mean. I want
They
to
wanted
provide,
accolades.
or they want to provide a solution for something that's for a problem in the world, but at the same time, nothing, everything that they're doing isn't gonna quite, you know what I mean, do what they want it to do. You know what I mean? And they
Hmm
kind of know that. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? So like it sounds good, right?
Yeah, but
When
you're
they
just
went
filling in a goal to have a goal. It ain't the right goal.
right, because it's not like a real why. All right, somebody gave me a why. Loss, for example, our homie Loss. Like his why was dope when we interviewed him, and I asked him why. He said because I'm an artist, and there's always a downtime in the artistry market, and I really want to help people get paid during when everybody's broke. Like so that was a cool why. I asked Nova what his why. His why was, bro, I want everybody to be able to have their bills paid.
That
You know
is
what I
a
mean?
that is a cool why that he gave you, Lost gave you. But
Yeah.
also, if you break it down and you look at it, what he's saying is we can't fix the music industry. It's broken. So let me
Yeah.
just put a band-aid on it. So it's like, is that the right answer though?
Yeah. I mean, because you can't heal it without everybody, you know what I mean, being a part of that healing, which I get, you know what I mean, but at the same time, like wasn't as generic as the most
No.
wise. Yeah, you know what I mean, that you
But
get from people.
Lost is a visual artist, though. He doesn't do music.
Yeah. So I mean, either way though, you know what I mean, like, just art in general, you know what I mean, there's always an up and down. It's a market
Right.
just like any other
No,
one.
I just
Yeah,
didn't want to
just
hurt
to
anybody.
Yeah, I
clarify.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So
Clarity. Clarity. I'm providing
what up, the
clarity
dude
today.
Sean?
I think I
Providing
remember
with the
talking about
clarity.
him last
The
time,
dude
but I don't know
Sean.
who he is.
The
Yeah.
dude Sean. Check in. We're providing clarity today. We're providing clarity.
Hey y'all, what up, man? But yeah, so what you were saying though, excuse me, is
So what's your why?
you gotta know
You
your
gotta have
why.
why.
You gotta have a why, and it's gotta
Or
have,
if
and
you
it's
don't know it, what are some ways that you can find your why?
that's
You
a good
know,
question.
like because
So
if you've done if you've taken if you've
Hold on,
decided to
no.
take
If you tapping in
responsibility.
right now, or if you can hear us right now, tell us your why. Why do you do what you do? I want you to put it in the comments if you hear. And then go ahead, Nov. And
Yeah.
then if you want, you can
I mean,
elaborate and tell us why it's your why, or how you've got your why, how you found your why, or how do
exactly.
you find your why.
What are some ways that you were able to find your why?
Yeah,
And
that's
when
a
we
good
say your
question.
why, we're talking about like, the reason why you want to do what you want to do, the reason why you want to be who you want to be,
Yes, what's your why?
the reason why you want to take responsibility for yourself and realize that everything you do isn't probably the right thing to do. And so something's got to give. And if you realize something's got to give,
So
then you
for
got to
example,
embrace
like my
it.
why has a lot to do with the clarity that I've gotten throughout my experience here on Earth, right? So what Megawatt's talking about with the stars, the suns, and all of that, I've taken that information. That's also included in my why, because that helped me realize who I was and helped me take responsibility of me. Right. So I took that information and I took the information of what's going on in the world and understanding that, I come from expression. I come from a line of expression. If you want to say the alignment from which I was brought into this reality, um, expression is something that is my unique power. Just like a lot of people who was born under the same, planet system and stars, as well. So knowing that, about me, I wanted to take responsibility in that, and then also, start providing a platform for that expression. So, um, here we have the Think High crew, and I have the music, and then why am I doing all of this? Is because I feel that we can provide an ecosystem where we are self-sufficient.
Jason,
So, yes, ma'am.
do you know when your period is that you're, at a crossroads and things are not as like they're more challenging for you? Do you know what season that is?
Yeah, it would be fuck. I would have to look
Well,
again to tell you
it's
exactly, but
Virgo season, so
yes.
my question is, do you
Yeah.
find that things are harder and more
Yes.
difficult to deal with during that? Okay,
Yes.
so if you once you understand that, you can plan
Right.
every year that
That's
things are
vacation time.
yep, you take time off, you
Right.
let things go, you let them slide, and then you
See, and
also
that it's
understand.
naturally happened like that though for me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like that'll be the time where I'll have a natural writer's block, or I'll have more of an interest in, like, my gardening and planting, and you know what I mean? Like there'll be other things that I've learned, about myself, like or even the Think High crew in doing this business. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of, balances out. So when I'm not in that, I don't have, when fucking what's the names in not Mercury per se, but who was it? Fucking
Retrograde, you
the
mean?
yeah, retrograde. But I'm saying which, I'm trying to remember which planet. There's a couple planets that fuck with the water, and when the
Mars.
water,
Mars is the main one.
yeah, it's so like when the water's blocked, you know what I mean? It's kind of just shitty for me because I'm a Pisces type shit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So or if the current of the stream is being tampered with by the moon, or you know what I mean,
Hmm.
because the moon affects water a lot. So it's just a lot of things that I realize, and I've just come to accept, and understand that that's where I'm at, because I can clearly see, you know what I mean? And if I'm in a position to where my creativeness or my expression is going to be blocked by everything that's going on around me, I obviously have to find other outlets, or I'm going to be stuck with this fogginess, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I won't, and then I can easily get lost, you know what I mean, in what I'm doing, instead of fucking being on the right
It's
path. So yeah.
interesting because if I'm giving someone a reading and they have a lot of relationship challenges and they can't sort through them or they can't make progress on them, and I ask them, well, what signs are your partners? And very often, I know this doesn't apply to Nova, but they are going to be that opposite
Right.
sign. They keep getting into a relationship with that polar opposite sign, and they're not able to withstand
Right.
the work that it requires of them.
Hmm.
And there's some that just won't work, in my opinion, more
Yeah.
so than others. But
Yeah, well, I'm one of them odd ones too, because my wife's a Leo and I'm a Pisces, but we're both born on the 5th. So that's what's crazy too. So we're both a 5 in etiology per se, you know what I mean? Because we're both born on the 5th, but she was born in August 5th and I was born on March 5th. So
Mm.
it's wild, that you say that. But even then, though, that brings clarity to me. So if I'm trying, if a goal of mine is to have a successful partnership, marriage, whatever you want to call it. I don't really like that word marriage because it has mirage in the root, and I'm into words and etymology and shit. But if I want that to be a goal of mine, is that for that to be successful and to define that as obviously my version of success isn't everybody else's version of success, but to define it as a successful relationship, you know what I mean? There's obviously that's I'm gonna have to understand that about her. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to understand where she is, where she's at in her, understanding of herself, as well as where she wants to be in the future.
I think next, so if you ask yourself,
Oh yeah, you were
you
talking
ask,
about what are ways you can find your why, and no one
right.
really answered that. I'm sorry. That was the
Well, no, I
question.
mean, it kind of got answered throughout just
Oh, okay.
throughout the discourse there. But
Okay.
so, what about like, okay, so if you say to yourself, what are ways that you can find your why? Then you're going to ask yourself the questions, like the why questions. So if you're looking for clarity and you're searching through clarity from from your why, right? Like what's your why? What's the reason you want to find clarity? Then there's going to be some questions that you probably get asked or ask yourself or ask other people.
Yeah.
One generic one would be, "Hey, how are you doing today?"
Right.
Megawatt just said, normally she gives a generic answer because nobody gives a fuck anyway.
Right.
And predominantly that's true. Most people, they're just asking for the reason just to be polite or whatever it is, but they really don't
Right.
give a shit. But you could break it down even, and ask yourself the why clarity question. You know what I mean? Like, why do I want clarity? Why?
Right.
What's the big deal? Does it make life easier? Or does it make life less fearful? Does it make life more meaningful? Because if you can't come up with that,
Yeah.
then you're going to be like the majority of people that
Yeah.
can't even tell you what they want. They can tell you what they don't want, but they
Hmm.
can't really tell you what they
Yeah.
want.
Why do you
But
want
Why do you
to
want
but
clarity?
I think
why
people
do you want the quality of being coherent and intangible?
but I think the people who
Or
run things don't want you to know why. They don't want you to know your why. They
oh
don't
yeah,
want you to know what you're even doing.
right, right. London Fog
No,
type shit. Yeah,
100%. Yeah. I mean, I get
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, so
But
yeah,
so,
so it's not going to be easy, right? So it's not going to be easy. So there you got the whole world. It's like to have
but I think if
hmm
you ask yourself the question, why do I want clarity?
hmm
I believe it would be because you're becoming more evolved.
that's a
You're
good
growing in life,
right.
and you want things different than
It's
you
almost
used to
like
see them.
asking
You know
yourself
what
red
I
or
mean?
yes, it's like asking yourself red or blue pill. Do you want the
Exactly.
transparency? Do you want the
Do you
transparency,
want to
or
know,
are
or you
you
just
or
want
are
to keep
you
going?
right, or are you comfortable with what things are and how things are? And you know what I mean? You don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that deep down inside there's nobody who doesn't really care, right? I just think that there's a fear of all the things that make clarity, like the responsibility, asking yourself why, actually asking yourself the questions, because if you look at it from a society standpoint, if everybody asked why, then this place would be a lot more transparent.
Hmm.
But
And
a
then,
lot of people
hey,
don't seek that clarity.
and then think about this. So out of everything that we've been talking about, right?
Hmm.
From the responsibility of all the way to the asking yourself why you even want clarity. Um, what if it was like, what if you were searching deep down and then you asked yourself, well, am I getting like reasons or am I getting results?
Right.
Because that right there it doesn't sound like much, but if you think
It's
about it, like,
it correlates
if,
though
right, if you're getting reasons that you
for
want
what.
clarity, but you're
Right.
not getting results through this process, then are you doing it right? Or
Right.
are you like Megawatt was saying earlier, are you just spinning
Yeah.
around in a circle? Do
Right.
you
Well,
know
yeah.
what you're
Well,
after?
just like when
Or are
you're
you
asking
just out
yourself
here
that
talking
why,
about it?
right?
Like you said,
And
do
how
you
she
really
said,
know? Do you really want it? Or are you just out here just talking about it?
right, when you talk about your why and you talk about, is why you're doing this bringing you more reasons, or is it bringing you more results?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Is it
and that's
giving
crazy.
you, are you seeing more reasons for clarity? Or are you in the pocket, in the vortex, seeing results?
But the thing is if you were to ask me my reason, which I'm not going to give because it's not really relevant to
Guess
this,
what?
I,
We didn't ask.
I'm glad. I wouldn't tell you because what I want is so far different from everyone else that then I would have a new
It should
problem
be.
of
It should be different, though. See, that's the
everybody
thing.
judging me because I want something so different.
Well, that's why. But that right there, that's where you got to say, this is my reason for clarity, and I'm taking responsibility for what I'm doing. That motherfucker over there ain't taking responsibility for what I'm doing, so I don't care what he says, thinks, feels, or nothing. And I
Yeah,
think that's a
but
big
also
part
though,
of
it's like
all of this too.
you're.
I just think that's a big
It
part of
is
all
no
of this,
matter
of being honest with
how
it.
different your why or
I'm
why
not
you're
coming
doing.
down on you, Megawatt. I'm
No,
just
no, not
saying
at
that I
all.
just think that, like, that's part of it. You know what I mean? Is like maybe
Yeah, but no matter
so
how different it is, no matter how different, it may seem, and as many people as you may feel, don't accept it or wouldn't look at it that way. You
it's
wouldn't
still
be you
clarity for you.
right, and you wouldn't be getting the results that you're looking for if that wasn't it. So what you're doing, either, no matter how different it is, or whether you tell people or not, is bringing you results for you. So you see the results from it. You know what I
Because you
mean?
know
Fuck
what?
everybody
There's going
else.
to be a few people that hear you, or maybe more than a few, that are like, oh my God, she was honest, and I'm finna listen to everything she says.
Right. Or like I've listened to people and been like,
You
man,
know what I mean?
I don't agree with nothing this motherfucker said, but it was
But
very
I
interesting.
respect, but
Yeah,
I
it was.
respect that he came out like that,
Yep.
or
And
she came out, whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I'll motherfucking do my research on it and see and look more deeply into what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like just because it was different from mine, I'm
Well,
like,
I
wow,
respect
that's
people's conviction regardless. You know what I mean? Like, because everybody's coming from a place where they possibly think that they're correct.
right.
And so I
Well,
can't sit here and
hmm
say, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's
it
the
just,
thing Megawatt
'cause I
said though. She
sound like
said
a fool.
the world don't want us to
They
have
don't
that
accept
clarity
that.
because
They don't.
right, they don't
And
want us to
I'm
have
gonna
that clarity, right?
I
Go ahead.
listened to y'all's last show. I think it
Uh-huh.
was, I don't know what it was, but you had Be Universal and Mr. Mupp on the show,
Yeah.
and you guys were having a discussion.
Yeah,
And
oh my
I'm gonna tell
boy.
you what, I am so glad I was not on that show because I wanted to wring y'all's necks,
Hey,
and I
Muck
was like,
told me, he said, that's irrelevant though. I'm like,
Ah,
hold up.
I heard you
You
say
talking about
irrelevant so many times I
Satanism?
almost wrecked my car.
You
So,
talking about Satanism,
Megawatt.
Baphomet? But then I say Michael Jordan's dad was murdered though,
but
and who else's parents was blah blah blah.
I
Well, that's
know,
irrelevant though.
I heard, but
Whoa.
listen, my take on the show when I got to that point and I had to shut it off was everybody was so much in their own personal opinion they could not hear anything.
Oh hell
Oh
no,
yeah.
Driving
no.
away from each other
Yep.
all at the same time, and I'm like, this is not working. What are they talking about? I was
Yeah.
so
Everybody.
That's
uncomfortable
that.
Well,
listening.
That's that goat shit. See, me, it was a clear
Yeah.
example, right? I was like,
Mhm.
watch this. You know what I mean? Because I was like, if we talk about some goat shit, you know what I mean? We already
it's so
knew.
funny too because you could
Yeah.
totally tell that, like, I don't have a goat.
Right.
I
Well,
ain't
no,
got. You know what I mean?
Goat is a figment of anyone's imagination.
exactly.
Right.
They need to
Thank you.
come to that realization,
Right.
Exactly.
which I don't
Ex-
think they did. I don't
No,
think
no,
that's what
no.
happened.
Nope,
But
not
I
at
was
all. See,
listening to
No.
that
They
Yo,
defended
And I
their
was like,
goat.
what?
right,
They were
right.
like, nah, but my dude is the goat though.
Right.
And
But see, and then, but like, nobody has a clear reason. It's almost like when the
yeah,
transgender
go
or
back.
tells you, you know, I'm a man, you know what I mean? And clearly they're not a man, or I'm a woman and clearly they're not a woman. And you're like, what? It's like, that's not, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? When
It,
you actually look at shit from a different perspective, like when you're not giving these people these titles of the GOAT. I already knew, like casting the spell, I already knew, cause I was like, I told Nova, I was like, watch this. I was like, when we talk, because it was just Fire Music Friday, we were just having some fun and
oh
and
my God.
I'm like, but watch this. I'm like, we're gonna bring up the GOAT conversation. Watch how it fucking, how it fucking everybody loses all of that knowledge that we
It just went
were
out the window,
went
man.
out the
And I was
fucking
like,
window, man.
please, God, let me not have to deal with that ever again. But listen, it's interesting that you brought up the transgender thing, because in my recent day-to-day events, I now work with a transgender person,
Yeah,
and she I'm going to say she because that is the goal of her direction at this point. She has a lot of questions for me, and they
right,
are unusual questions. They're questions about, why do I feel a certain way? Why do I
right,
do certain things? How do I
right,
do them? And they're not coming from a place of interest about
right,
me and what I'm
right.
doing. They're coming from the fact that she doesn't fucking understand her own self. She
Wow,
doesn't understand what she's doing. She's not in her body. She's
right,
changed so much stuff. She doesn't even know what she is anymore. She's
wow,
just something. And she asked
wow.
me these questions. It's so weird.
And that's
So
so
weird.
crazy. Like you can, and that's so crazy that we're talking about clarity today, right? And you like, damn, like, and you tell us that, you know what I mean? And that's how hard you want to say that's how hard there's a whole different group of power that be who have so much
Yeah.
clarity that they want to keep everybody in the fog
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
any which way that they
Well,
can.
she herself is in a fog, so much so that she's had operations, and
Wow.
I mean multiple operations. She has had implants. She has had other things created that weren't necessarily, I mean, the
Right.
whole kit and
Nine,
caboodle is,
the whole
happening.
nine.
And you would not be doing that if you knew who you were and what you were
Clarity.
doing here. You would not have that
Mm-hmm.
Right.
interest.
Right. Well, you know what? I had
But
these
you know,
things
it
written
starts with
down.
that responsibility. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, right exactly what she just said. She said you wouldn't do that if you knew yourself or knew who
Mm-hmm.
you were, or if you now I'm this show is not biased
Not
by
at
any
all.
means. It's just talking, people. All right, so don't be getting all mad and hit me with a Dave Chappelle over here. But so the thing is like it's like if there was clarity in that situation, then you would know what you value.
Mm.
Because if you value who you are,
Mm-hmm.
then do you
You got
how
that's the
far
other
do you
question.
go? How far do you go to change?
That's the other question you have to ask yourself
And then
after
if
you get that why and you do your why questions.
and then
You
this
have
is another thing that we
what do
got to be
you
real about, y'all.
what do
We
you
got to
value?
be honest about this and tell ourselves that we are not that person. We are not in their brain. We do not
Right.
know what their actual clarity is.
Nope.
So all of the stuff that could be clarity for us could not be clarity for
Clear.
them for one or more of the reasons.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I mean, you can't read a fucking dictionary to a fucking 2-year-old and expect them to be able to digest that shit. You know, I get exactly what you're saying. You can't put somebody in. You can't put me in a group of rocket scientists because I'll be in the fog and I'm not. You know what I mean? I just don't
Right.
have
Well,
the
and I mean, me personally, I
yeah.
can't tell anybody that their clarity is not true.
It's not
If they're
clear.
following the same steps I follow to find my clarity, how the fuck can I look at somebody else and tell them, nah, bro, your
Yeah,
steps was
but
just
that
like mine,
question.
but that clarity ain't right.
But back to what you were saying on that question that you have to ask yourself. So you've asked yourself your why. You've asked yourself your why. Do you want clarity? You looking for results and not more reasons. If you're getting more reasons, you know what I mean. Then you definitely need to maybe take another step back
Right.
on your why. But and then so
But But she wouldn't be asking me those questions if she was
Right.
clear. If she was
Exactly.
sure, she would know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, it was what she needed to do to spend thousands of dollars.
Right.
have
Do
all
you
of
ever
her
ask her
stuff.
that ever ask her like what does she value? Because like you're like what is value to her?
Well,
Like
no,
what does
because
she value?
what she's told me, she
Hmm.
already she has a okay. This person was married, okay, before when they were not a she, and they had a child, and now they've transitioned to a she. So she's already telling me that she valued herself so much more than to be a consistent person in this child's life, because now that person who had a father, I don't know what they have now. I don't know how that works. I've never been in Kendall and Kylie Jenner's, household and had to deal with those nonsensical things that they have to deal with. But she's changed the relationship of her life with all these people so drastically that that child is going to have to grow up not understanding what is going
Yeah.
on.
And so her value, it was, I would assume it was more into pleasing, I guess, some kind of um
Just like maybe it's
program of,
society. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Maybe,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe there was some kind
maybe,
of, because
or maybe not.
she
But
wasn't
it's just
obviously she wasn't valuing, you know what I mean, herself and her body and her whatever,
15
whatever.
years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They weren't, they didn't ask themselves what do they value before they made that change. And you see to get clarity, you see it's a multitude of things that have to be aligned. You know what I mean? So like if you don't have clarity, you can guarantee that if someone doesn't have clarity, you can guarantee that they don't have responsibility. They have never asked themselves why. They don't know what they value. They don't have it, or it's all been pre-programmed for them.
Yeah, I was about
And
to say, or they got
yeah,
that script that everybody's got, and they
exactly.
just
Or
read
it's
through
been,
it. They're
yeah,
like,
they
okay,
haven't gone back.
I need to wear this.
Well,
I need
that
to say
script
this. I need to
is causing this
post this.
person a lot of pain, physical pain that they cannot get out of now because they've reversed things so much
Right.
that you can't go backwards in time.
No, no, you
Yeah.
can't. And that's,
Well, you know what? That's crazy because the next thing that we had jotted down was fucking mistakes.
yeah, there's
So it's like,
mistakes.
what do you
Yep.
value? And you figure that out, and then you got to hit your mistakes. Then you got to go to the boundaries or people crossing the line. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to you're going to take responsibility for yourself. Obviously, you're going to
Hmm.
have to set boundaries, and you're
No,
going to have to deal with the mistakes that you've made throughout
yeah,
this
that's real
journey and
important though.
everything.
That's real important because we man, those type of mistakes though, that in
And if
her,
you don't take this and learn from the mistake, it'll be another mistake
yeah,
next time.
they're irreversible though. Like, you know what I mean? Some
Yep.
mistakes are irreversible. You know what I mean? And that type of mistake,
Like this, check it out. Homeboy got out of prison today, right?
oh yeah,
He's
yeah.
got he's at this right here,
Oh boy.
mistakes, right? And he's got to set boundaries, or people are gonna cross the line on his boundaries on how he's going to live,
Hmm.
right? Because if he don't do that, then you already know what happens. You know the
He's going right
statistics.
back. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep, yep. And,
Well,
and
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 he
go ahead.
knows. I mean, I know him, so I can say this without saying what I'm going to not say. But he knows what they are. He's already identified them all. He has a very long list, and now his
Right.
responsibility is to acknowledge them without holding himself uh, for the rest of his life
Right.
accountable in a way that he can move forward.
Right. Well, yeah, there's a balance in the accountability because you have to understand you can't go back and fix any
Yeah.
mistakes. But there
Hey,
are
I tell you
mistakes.
this,
The mistakes that you can fix, you know what
he
I mean?
did.
You should.
He one thing he valued was that Waffle House he ate this morning. He texted and said, "Man, I just smashed the Waffle House. It was great."
That's what's up, man. And that's crazy because, like I said, man, some mistakes are unreversible, but you have to learn to, you have to live, you have to learn. I guess you have to learn. You have to learn from them. And everybody talks about, taking L's. They don't want to take an L. I don't want to take an L. Oh man, this is a setback. This is an L. You know what I mean? And
That's fear based. That means you're
Yeah.
not going to try it to begin with, and you won't learn
Right.
from your fucking. Like when I rode a bike, bro, I would fall off that bitch. I'd get back on it and I'd go, and then I could jump ramps.
Yeah. Yeah. And damn, it's so deep. You know what I mean? To get clarity, like there's so much healing that you got to do on the inside of
Mhm.
your fucking self.
And I talked
Yeah,
to him
you know what I
about
mean?
that. I said, healing, because you've got 2 years of intense healing, but you have to complete to even get
You're
where you need to go.
I was gonna say you're cutting out, I think, but
Am I?
But you came back. It
okay.
was a
Okay, sorry.
little bit, but yeah. And though you got to see those signs, because once you know that, and like Nove said, and once you realize if you basically forgave yourself for the mistakes that you made, or you were able to correct, some mistakes that you were able to make, because as we know, some mistakes are irreversible. But once you've gotten there, you gotta know the signs of the boundaries. Now healthy boundaries, whether they're social, business, spiritual, like all of those matter. So like you said,
I didn't write these boundaries out, but I I put them together. I grabbed them from different things. I got 10 of them. If you want me to read
okay,
them.
yeah, sure,
So basically, it's like, what are healthy boundaries, basically? And this is just 10 that I kind of came up with. Like I said, I ain't write them out, but I kind of tweaked them a little bit. So the first one would be that you're last in line, and everyone seems to come before you when it comes to your time.
that's
So
unhealthy
that could
boundary.
be, a top 10. We'll call it a top 10
It's
sign,
time
right?
for
So,
an unhealthy boundary, right? So if
right.
you're in a
So
relationship and you
any
feel
type of relationship
any type,
doesn't mean marriage or boyfriend girlfriend or girlfriend girlfriend or girlfriend girlfriend or
and that even
boyfriend boyfriend
includes
or any.
yourself, right?
Yep.
Right, yeah, and includes yourself too.
Number two would be, at one point you enjoyed doing favors, but now you feel you have to.
Mm,
And that's one thing I had to do, man, was like, I had to set these boundaries of helping old, like not old, but like friends from like high school, like
right,
financially, like because they were
right,
always call me, always say, hey. And finally, I got to the point where I was just like, I can't do this no more. Y'all
right,
motherfuckers grown, man. You know what I
right.
mean? And I can't be that crutch, or I just ain't going to be. Period. So, but it doesn't have to be financial. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? It could be
Oh
anything.
yeah, oh yeah. But just like Megawatt was talking about, and our homie getting out of jail, right? He got to set those boundaries too, because goddamn well, as soon as he touched down, everybody and their mama who, you know what I mean, is gonna be like, oh man, let's hang out. It's been so many years, I ain't seen you. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's like he's gonna have to set those boundaries. You know what I mean? When it comes to that, when it comes to getting back into what he's gonna have to be doing, because like I said, this is a slight roadmap, because it's gonna be different for everybody. This is the slight roadmap for a general roadmap for to help people find some kind of clarity in what they're doing in their life. You know what I mean? Or to bring clarity on what they're doing, or shit, help you find your why, or fucking, you know what I mean? Give you a general outline of how you can find your clarity, or find you to be able to start that journey on finding that clarity, and
Yeah.
having those boundaries, protecting your energy. So what he's talking about in the metaphysical side is protecting your energy. You know what I mean? Is making sure that your energy exchange with the people around you, and or just your reality, being of equal
But
exchange.
if you really
Yep.
want to get honest, the whole metaphysical subject matter creates inequality, because some people can do it and some people are well versed in it and some people aren't, and they want something from people who are metaphysical practitioners that they can't get for themselves, and a lot of times they don't want to pay for it. They just think, oh, this person has a gift,
Mm-hmm.
so they should give
Right.
people
And
Right.
that
their
person is going to be what's called a hater,
Well, they don't take
because
responsibility.
they
They
just
don't have
ain't going to
clarity.
do these steps.
Right. Right.
and they're gonna get
No,
mad
I
at
feel you though. I
Megawatt,
feel you though,
and they're gonna get
Megawatt.
mad at yeah, I do too. That's why I'm saying like
Mm-hmm.
that person's gonna be considered and classified as a hater in life because they're gonna always be
But
mad
not
and feel like somebody else has got something they don't and help them get one step ahead.
but the thing that they
Oh,
don't
oh well,
understand,
do the work, motherfucker.
yeah, the thing they don't
You
understand is
broke it, you must pay for it.
there's work involved, and it's very intensive.
What's
It's not easy.
No,
No,
not at all.
not at all.
it shouldn't be easy
So
because that's what it's about.
Mm-mm.
Should never
so
be
after
easy
that,
because if it's easy, everyone could do it.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So
Gotta have that
and
will.
everybody can do it if they just follow these steps. I honestly believe that. You know, but so we just said at one point you enjoyed doing favors, but now you feel you have to.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
what's the
so
next sign?
the number third, or the third of the 10 top signs, partially created by Think High Crew of the need for healthy boundaries would be that you feel guilty if you don't.
Ooh, been dealing with that
And
with
it's
my
just that
with my
simple.
pops too.
If you feel if you feel guilty if you don't, period, full stop, nothing else after it. It's you feel guilty if you say no,
Yep,
basically.
and that's an unhealthy That's an unhealthy boundary. You need to reset that bitch.
Yep.
Gotta get that. It's a chakra that's involved with that as well. That's obviously imbalance that causes that feeling of guilt. But and I
That's
know,
the
hell, my cousin actually died from what's it, multiple sclerosis or is it multiple
MS.
sclerosis, and it had a lot to do with that chakra being blocked. A
And
lot of
that's
things
another,
having guilt.
yeah, and that's another aspect to gaining clarity. See, that's what the episode was about clarity. And we're talking about gaining clarity. And obviously it's a path that everybody is on, and everybody's clarity isn't going to be my clarity isn't your clarity. If you put yourself in my shoes, it might seem foggy and vice versa. You know what I mean? So we were just talking about the road to clarity, and developing healthy boundaries is a part of having that, road to clarity. Because if you're going to see
Yeah.
clear, you can't have other people's shit
I got a
interjecting into you. Go
I
ahead,
got a
no.
big ass
That's
chakra
where
chart
distortions
right
come
here.
into play. That comes in with the distortions hell
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Hey
gotta
y'all,
have
I
the
gotta
healthy.
say this. It's solar season for the Scorpios, y'all. Sun enters into
We've
Scorpio
already
today, bro.
talked about that.
Yeah, we was
So what?
definitely.
I'm a Scorpio, so
He
I'm gonna say it
powered
again.
up. You hear him? You hear him? He charged
We've
up.
already talked
Purusha.
about that.
I'm Purusha, y'all. Which
But
actually
listen, it's
means
only at
supreme
0
being.
degrees, so you can calm down on that. It's only at 0 degrees.
All right, so this could be
Spoken from
considered
megawatts, though. From the name megawatt. Sorry,
Hey,
y'all turned down.
now you
Not.
good. Be turned up, bro. I know you was gonna
You
come in
already
here
know
and
I'm not
turned
turning
in.
down.
I know you was gonna come in turned up. It's your time. Go ahead, no.
So number
All right, my
four,
bad.
it could be considered insane and insanity also, but it would be if you keep hoping something will change, but it never does. That's pretty much the definition of insanity. But so if you're insane, then obviously you need to start back over at square at number one, which would be responsibility.
But that's tough though, no, because crazy person don't know they crazy though. That's the crazy part about it. They don't know
Well,
they
they would
crazy.
know
And the
by
ones that
now.
be calling themselves crazy.
No.
Right, but they would know by now
No,
through these
no.
steps.
No.
In the clarity of it, they would know by now if they were crazy or not.
If you're going to a medical practitioner or a psychologist or a psychiatrist and you're asking the question, am I crazy? They're already ruling that and sweeping it off the table, because people who are crazy don't even have the ability to ask that question and reflect on that at all.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah, but
programming.
True that.
But I think as well, I think that there's a lot of people who play crazy, and you know what I mean. And there's a lot of people who, you know what I mean. They know that they're crazy, that are crazy, and they do know that they're fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like I know some cats who know that they fucking crazy, man.
okay, so
But
So
yeah.
how about? So let me.
That's
I
the
got a
PC.
question
That's
then.
because they was on that PCP though. So
Yeah, or
you gotta
Sherm.
love.
One of them, some Sherm.
One of
That
them,
But
boy
right?
could have you.
so how about this? I'm gonna ask everybody this question then. So, um, well, not quite. Well, kind of a question, but so if you take too much on and won't ask for help, how
Mm.
do you think that you would go about and set that boundary?
Mm.
If you are somebody that always takes on too much and you won't ask for help, what would be a way that you think that you would be able to set a healthy boundary for yourself?
I I personally would make sure that if I needed help and I took too much on my plate and I needed to ask for help, I would ask. It would be direct, it would be simplified, and it would be an exchange of energy that will be equal. You know what I mean? So like I would have to make sure that when I ask for the help, it would be genuine and upfront. I can detail explain exactly the kind of help that I would need you to do to the T, and then what I could possibly do in return for that help. Now everybody doesn't like, when if you ask me for something, no, like I don't there's not, I don't expect anything in return if I do something for you, because the return on that is going to be
Cause you're already giving back and forth though. If you
right,
think
but
about it.
yeah, but it's going to
So
be a
it's
different kind of return, right? It's a different kind of return. You know what I mean? When it
mhm,
comes to like your relationships with your close people. Um,
yeah.
but at the same time, if you're taking on something,
Basically he's saying he owes me $4.8 million, and
Look, closed
well,
mouths don't get fed. And if you're a giving person, I say it like this because I know what I say, the
no, that's
pride,
only
right?
one point two
And I
five.
tell you like this, think about this. A pride aligns, right? They've got pride, except for when you single one out. They got pride when they going hard against that one buffalo, but that one lion against that buffalo, he'll drink off real quick. Be like, let me trip off this.
Yeah.
I'm out, right? So pride, you got to put that to the side. You can't be some needy person. Like there's people that just be always, I need. Like it's crazy that we having this conversation because I want to bring this up today. I'm seeing a whole lot of people panhandling or begging, right? And I'm like, and these look like able bodies, right? And I'm not somebody who can, everybody's situation can be different. But if I'm noticing the same people at the same place, but yet dude got on Jordans, he got on a nice jacket, he got a phone and all this stuff, and I'm thinking these people are really caking this kid up, and he has no plan. And
Hmm.
I even asked this kid, I
No
was like, bro,
clarity.
what are you doing? Like, how is it possible that you're here every day? You on super fly guy, yet you're begging for money. And I'm like, what
Can't
is this? What can this really be? Like,
you?
is this become a career for people? Like,
Hmm.
for real?
So
Because
if you, yeah, it
like they're
is. It
really
is. You can
posted
go
up.
get your panhandling license, and you can make money, bro.
Dead ass
I'm
though.
Dead
telling you,
ass,
man,
bro.
and it's crazy. I mean, and they actually are. I'm out here grinding, and I'm thinking like,
Yeah, and how
bro,
you and we go about asking, the way we go about setting that boundary to have that respect, to have that healthy relationship with people. um it's been hijacked like everything else. You know what I mean? Like they don't want it to be as simple as you can ask your
Right.
neighbor for a cup of water, or you know what I mean, whatever the fuck it might be.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what Megawatt was saying. Like if they
Well, I was
they
about to
keep it
ask her the
foggy.
question.
when
So what? How would you
Well,
answer it, Megawatt? Because you
so
basically did.
I have two comments how I would answer. So first of all, if I'm asking for help, it's generally because I've exhausted all resources that I
All
already
right,
know
I'm
that I can do.
sending out an SOS.
And most commonly, it's for something I cannot do
Right.
myself, like lifting something transporting something that is without. I don't have the power to do it for myself, and that's just because of who I am. I don't like to depend on people and
Right.
necessarily, and put myself in situations
Right.
where I'm going to be,
Taken
caught off
advantage
guard.
of.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
wouldn't
But
And I
consider that depending on anybody, because that's not
would
something that
that
you're
That's a
going to do every
system.
would
day.
that is something that
Right. That's
we
a
should just
system.
it
naturally
is.
do for each other. But
But the
and that's
thing of
what's
it
so
is,
crazy. We don't.
none of you all are
Right.
females, and you don't have to say, I need to move this from over here to over here. How am I going to be able to do this if it's way out of your,
Well, you normally
control?
we just call one of the
Well, I
bros
don't
and
want to
just
hear
be
that
like, "Hey,
female
bro,
stuff
come help
either,
me.
Mega West, because I know some
Come help
women.
me move."
I know some very
Okay.
strong women.
Well,
So
I
we
don't
can't
I
just
don't
say
know
women.
I don't know a
I
lot
know
of
some.
those.
I know some. What we
I
call?
do.
What
I
do they
know
do? The
some. I know
shot
some
put.
burly. I
I
know
know
some
some
burly
shot put
babes.
couch carrying chicks.
Okay.
But I
Well,
understand what you're saying.
apparently I don't have the right
But I
friend
totally
group, but
understand what you're saying. I totally
No, I
understand what
do.
you're saying,
But
sis.
like,
I'm
no,
just
but
fucking
what
with
she's
you.
saying though is
but
You're
something
right.
that we should naturally do for each other in general though. Like if you see somebody carrying something heavy and they're struggling, you should help them. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But
But I
like,
mean,
yeah, no
like,
Yeah, I
other.
do that for the
but
old ladies. I do it. Yeah, I feel
what
you.
about if we
You
went
swear.
back to, what about if we was kind of like back on the topic of clarity though, Megawatt? So
hmm
what would be your, towards clarity? Because I mean, I guess helping
you mean to set
somebody
healthy
helping you,
boundaries?
right,
Is that what you're asking me?
right.
Well, my question would be that every day you check in with
No,
yourself
no, no,
and
no, no. I'm sorry.
okay.
Like, so if you take too much, right, and you won't
Oh,
ask for help, if you
uh-huh.
take on too much, or if you won't ask for help, like, how do you think through in a clarity search way, right? Like, how do you
hmm
think that
How do
that's
you make the clear?
what would
Yeah,
you
well, how do you
do
make a clear decision on, what?
Well, I mean, like I've had to do that. So you basically just
on the
say,
boundary
it's kind
side? Yeah.
it's kind of like a pyramid. What's at the very base level? What has to get done? What is the must have? And then you clear everything else off the table, and whatever goes because you have only so much time in a day, and you only have so much energy. So you have to pick and choose what you have to do. I mean,
So you
like,
Yeah,
got so you
I
got a
got you.
heavy couch that you
See,
need to move, right?
mhm,
And you're like, I need somebody to help me, whether male or female, it doesn't matter.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Obviously, that's going to be your base goal. I need to move this couch today. This
mhm,
has to be done, right?
right.
So, what's your next step now? Are you offering an energy exchange? You calling one of the friends over? Hey, come help me move this real quick, and
I
we
have
can
I
have
have a
some
hard
pizza or
time
whatever.
I
Like,
have a hard time with that because I already am at a disadvantage energetically with people who know
mm-hmm,
me and they know what they want from me. So I
right.
already don't do that because it puts me more out of balance than that. So
We need to get you a group of friends.
no, I mean it's just like
Besides, that's not just digital, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Because like it's crazy because I
well,
see that
that's
though for women though. I see that happening to a lot of women. I'm not saying it's a particularly bad thing. I'm not trying to point point fingers or nothing like that. But I'm
well,
saying like
that's what I was about to ask. Is I
there's
think
a lot of
exactly what
guys
you're
who
about to
just have
say.
somebody. A lot of guys who just have
yeah,
even just a neighbor, like my neighbor next door. I'm like, yo, bro, help me move this fridge real quick. You know what I mean? And like we and I
we
don't have to
can't
give
do
up.
that though.
Right?
But
Yeah,
see,
that's wild.
We
but
can't
look,
do that.
I got a perfect red blue here. All right, so that's my wife is that way. She don't really know nobody in the neighborhood, talk to nobody, and I know all these motherfuckers, man. You know what I mean? The women, the men, the kids, whatever. And so I don't know. Maybe that's just a thing. Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know
no, no.
why it would be
It
a
was
thing. But
not
maybe it's a
saying
thing,
like not to bring the female thing up or anything like that, but it is
right?
I could say the same
But
thing. You know what I
I
mean?
was
My
going to
wife
ask you,
too.
Megawatt, do you think that helps you? Or so do you think those are healthy boundaries or unhealthy
Absolutely, I
boundaries?
would
Do
say
you need to open
they're
up your
more
shell a
on
little
the
bit?
unhealthy side. They're definitely not healthy. Um, but
Okay, so you just realized that. You know what I
I
mean?
already knew it.
So
It
you just
wasn't
took
something I didn't
responsibility
know.
for it. But
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying through the steps for somebody listening, that's right there. That's the part, that's the first one that we talked about was the responsibility of. And
Right.
maybe, probably, and I'm not trying to single you out. I'm
And
just
what
using
she
this as an
values,
example.
guess what? Just by her answer, I could tell what she values. She values her energy over
Exactly.
a more personable relationship with somebody. You know what I mean? It's like I
Exactly.
value my energy more than just having a cordial relationship with people who are not gonna.
But here's the other end
Agreed.
of the spectrum. If you know a guy whose personal job is that he works for a moving company, do you know what's going to happen to him every time he's not at work? Everybody and their dog is going to be on a phone call, on a text saying, "Hey, whatever your name is, come
Not.
over on Saturday and help me move."
Yep.
Right.
Or
Every single
even
day.
if you own a truck,
Yes,
because I used to own a pickup,
exactly.
multiple pickup trucks, and you're gonna get caught in trailers. Oh man,
And
hey,
it
you gonna be
doesn't
the
help.
bad guy.
It also doesn't help for a female because we do have some corrupt masculine that when you ask them something, they automatically
Yeah. Right.
seeing something
Pussy,
else.
give me
And
some
Yeah.
you asking
pussy in
for a
exchange.
favor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it is
So
rough
yeah, I
like
get
that.
that.
Yeah,
I
I do.
totally get that.
Me too.
That's
But
fucked up.
as a
Nigga, I'll move
man,
wherever you at. I got you. And I
but
don't want
look,
nothing but
as a
reading every
man,
other
I
day.
can admit that throughout my life I've known when it was time to leave a female alone. I knew how to approach her. I knew how to say, yeah, this ain't the one, and all that. And some people, they either don't get it, bro, they don't feel that, or they just don't give a fuck. But I've always been the person that felt it and
A
gave a
lot
fuck
of
and was
people
like,
got
nah,
some kind of
all right, I
clout.
That's that 9, man.
Well,
That's that 9.
but at the same time, it's like, a lot of people just, you know what I mean? Like in a
Love it.
situation like that, like a lot of times men feel that way because of how the dynamic has been with women. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say women like Megawatt or T or my wife because like they completely are a different kind of standard of woman. But
well, I
today's
mean,
societal how women move like that. So like for them to be able to set healthy boundaries, right? And it's I can see it being more difficult for a woman because obviously if she met a dude with a lot of money, you know what I mean? Like, and she's just like, yo, they're friends. And she's like, yo, could you help me move some shit? He might call somebody to come help move it or, pay for the movers or whatever like that. But like you said, we all know what he's expecting in exchange. He'll take you out, but, he better be getting lucky tonight. So it's just like,
100% I would call someone and pay them to do a job as
and
opposed to
that was my
generating
next
sex.
question for you because that's
100%.
the
and that
energy.
and I think that, like, I think that's the right way, but I also think that there's another way of doing it, and it would
There
be
is.
just like a man would. I'm not trying now. Don't take it the wrong way, but I'm just saying, like, if I ask another dude, hey man, can you help me move some shit? That's exactly how I'm gonna ask him right there. You
Straight
know what I
up.
mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that if a woman says, hey bud, or hey sir, or hey man, you help me move some shit, I'm telling you, unless the
Give them that
dude
straight up.
he's either going to, and I'm not saying nothing about you, Megawatt, but I'm just saying he is either going to know right there. He's going to know you don't want nothing to do with him. Now that's his choice to take it there if he wants to.
It is.
But you did what you were supposed to do by giving
But
him that
that,
straight
but
up and that
that,
But
boundary.
also, I don't want to cook him dinner, and I don't want to have later.
Well, you ain't saying nothing about no damn dinner, though. You didn't say nothing about that.
No.
You said, "Hey
Nah.
man, you want to help me move some shit?"
Right.
Because that's what I said to do.
There's an and on the end, and they sit and wait for whatever is coming next.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I don't get no
Yeah,
and.
I'll
I
help
don't
you
get no
move.
and.
Well,
I
see,
don't
no,
do
that is though, because like, I mean, I can see it working both ways, man. You know what I mean? Because I've been in situations where a chick was like, yo, can you help me move some shit? And then I help her move some shit, but she trying to fuck the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I was just trying to help the bitch move some shit. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, no, I say bitch just because, I don't remember her name. I'm not saying, no
Okay,
disrespect or
thanks.
anything like that. but I'm just saying, like,
I don't know which is worse there. Not remembering her name or telling her. God damn.
But I'm
This
just
is
saying though,
you're wrong,
because
man.
that, but no, that's some fuck up shit though. You know what I mean? I ain't just because I'm a man don't mean I'm gonna fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, don't think that I want to fuck you just because you know what I mean. I'm a guy. Like all
Well,
guys ain't
listen,
just trying to fuck you.
not
I'm not
everybody
that
Hey, I
type
has
of
take
guy.
that
that
skill.
personal as
Not everybody
well,
has that
Satoe.
Me
I
skill.
take
too.
it personal.
I
'Cause I'm
take that
like,
shit
who you
personal.
think?
Like, bitch,
Who
you
you
think I'm a
think?
hoe?
Right,
Yeah, now you a bitch
right.
because you
Yeah.
think I'm some kind of man whore. Like,
Okay, well, how about this? This is the next one I had on the list, and it seems like somebody's feeling it right now. You feel resentment.
hey, there's a lot of
Do
that.
you feel resentment because somebody automatically thinks that they're good enough for you to want to put your whatchamacallit inside of them, or vice versa?
Yeah, I think
On the other, you could do it on the other side too. So
there's gonna
you know
be
what I
though,
mean? Like,
because like, all right, for example, the reason, and you know what, this is what I'm gonna tell people about resentment. You know what I mean? I use it as more of a fuel, okay, or more of a way to help me break generational curses, so I can see more clearly, and bring
but
clarity.
and when I ask that, I mean like this too. No, I hate to interrupt you because I know you're
No,
supposed
you
to start
good.
talking, but I got to say this part. So resentment is in like the next time you see them, are you gonna be resentful? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
not
Well, I
like are
mean,
you
yeah, I'm
gonna
gonna treat
act
it.
out right then?
It all depends on who it is. Like if it's that, if it's a chick who thought I was a man whore and she did me like that dirty, like, oh yeah, come move a couch, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really trying to see what that mouth do type shit. Like if I see her again, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna like be a dick. I'm not gonna be a dickhead. But you know what I'm saying? Like I at the same time I'm gonna treat it like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you think I'm, you know what I mean? I understand where her perception of me is in her brain. She already just see me as, she's just
Hmm.
trying to, you know what I mean? She's
Me
trying to say.
personally,
So
I'm gonna look down on her, and
yeah, a
I ain't gonna
little
say
bit.
nothing. But
Yeah.
when I look at you, you gonna know because I'm gonna look at you like,
See, but
You see,
get the fuck out
and
of
see
here.
with me, it's different. I probably won't see that person ever again,
yeah.
even if they are around, because it won't even give them you know what I mean?
Right. That's what
Just
I said.
keep it moving.
I won't be an asshole. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be
I
like,
wouldn't even,
yeah. I'm not gonna even say
I'd just be
nothing.
like, yo, I'm
But
like
that
them two, what
resentment
they call
though,
it,
It would be more of a
you know how they,
you really thought, like, really? Okay. Like, you
yeah.
really
it's
thought?
like that.
Nah. No.
See,
You know what
Right.
I mean?
I treat it like 2 weeks notice, like I did at work.
right.
If you don't notice me for 2 weeks, that's my name. Then
Right.
you should know what it is, because
But but
I'm not
but on a
giving you two
deeper
more
note
weeks of
though,
me.
right? On a deeper note with that resentment though, you know what I mean? So building healthy, boundaries is a part of helping you find clarity. So on a deeper note with that, it's like I use that resentment as a way to be a better me. You know what I mean? So in that example with old girl, you know what I mean? Like that would be me being like, all right, I ain't gonna put you out there. I'm not gonna scoop down to the level of blah 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 da da da. And I'm not gonna do that too. I'm a better. I know I'm higher than that. So whatever. You know what I mean? Like you said, no, I'm gonna just look at her like, yeah, But
Yeah, you
when it
already
comes to
know, and then
right,
keep walking.
and keep walking. But and when it comes to like that, a deeper note, like my dad, for example, like I've been taking care of him. You know what I'm saying? And there's an inner resentment there just because he wasn't the guy who taught me how to throw football. He wasn't there to, do a lot of shit he was supposed to do. Me and my mom broke up when I was 2. And he had that old school mentality. Like if she gonna take this motherfucking baby miles away where I can't get to him, then I ain't even going whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you know how that old school fella was, but she the one who moved away. Anyways, anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do have that resentment, but what the universe has done, or what you want to say, the reality of the situation is that, you know what I mean, I could choose to have that resentment and then say fuck him. He just had surgery and he need me to help him out. And I could have just been like, nigga, you wasn't even there to teach me to throw a football. But where is that going to help me grow as a human? You know what I mean? How is that going to break any curses for me? How is that going to set a healthy boundary or healthy relationship boundary for me and this guy?
Exactly.
Not to mention, look how far you've expanded without him.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
Oh yeah.
He was a perfect example of what not to be. And I think
lessons,
me resenting him not being here is why I'm such a good dad the way that I am.
lessons, lessons.
Yeah, so
Make
like
mistakes.
resentment is important, and when we dwell on it, it becomes depression. If we learn from it, and you know, like one of my
Or
songs.
and just let it flow too.
Yeah,
You know, just
what
let
I
it
say,
flow.
and one of in the songs in the hook, I said, "Are you ever patient? You know, can you be patient for the things that can wait? Do you have, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you love something that you hate? You know what I'm saying? That you resented? Can you do that? Like, are you able? Do you have the capacity to love something that you've hated? Love something that you
That's
resented?
true
That
capacity.
resentment, yeah, that resentment is, you know, is just there as another fog. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to recognize it,
Yeah.
and then you got to do what you have to do so it don't put a generational curse, because that shit can pass down genetically.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
Especially
I
Well,
if you
mean,
Megawatt probably know about
someone's
those
loving you.
ceremonies that they do to help you untie your fucking you can
yeah,
fucking, you know, go back in your fucking
Megawatt
ancestor.
knows about that shit.
Yeah, I know she do. So you
Well,
could travel that timeline and
I,
untie them generational curses and shit.
you know, you can, but the best way to do it is to teach the person who needs to untie the curse how to do it
Right.
themselves. That's the most bang for the
Facts.
buck. So me doing it is just, okay, I'm going to
A
help you
guide.
because I know what's going
Yeah.
on, but you really have to
I'm just
do the
pointing
work.
you in the direction. You got to walk.
I'm pointing you in the direction, and I'm giving you the file, the
Right.
access in your brain
Right. I like
to
that. You're
do
like
the
the
work.
librarian. You
Mhm.
looking for this
Mhm.
book? It's over here.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
Just
gotta
like a damn librarian too, probably.
Shit.
Boring ass
Well,
librarian.
okay.
Shit.
Well, you're boring ass librarian. You have your own qualifications. Okay. So,
All right,
anyway,
so hey,
DNA
so
regeneration.
so check this out. So after if you feel resentment, then what about if you constantly feel overwhelmed?
Yeah, that's
I
another
think
one too.
that definitely needs to be some boundaries set. If you are constantly feeling overwhelmed, you don't even you got no time to concentrate on
Hey,
you
do
because you are overwhelmed with
hey,
everything else.
and you know what
Or
though?
it's the chaos, right? Remember
Wait
what
though,
I said?
what do you value though comes back into that. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you're somebody like Megawatt who values her energy, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I value my energy too,
oh yeah, I
man.
know you do,
my
but you're
my reason for
I
doing
do
that
me
is
so
different,
much
though.
they can call me masturbate. You wild.
No, like
Yeah.
I, I technically should not be here. I have had experiences that would have put me off of this planet, and
right.
the fact that I'm still here means that I know the value of my own energy enough to
Facts.
save my own life. So
Right.
I look at it that way as opposed to just I'm protecting my energy. I'm protecting
No,
this
I understand.
person.
And
Yeah.
me personally, I'm a little bit more risky with it. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm a little bit more
I'm
willing
actually
to
not here, and so
I'm
I'm a
more willing to
figment of
like
everybody's
go out there
imagination.
sometimes to go out there sometimes on a limb with the energy. And I think that when you do that, right? Do you feel overwhelmed when someone
Yeah.
wants to? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah,
do too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also know the value of the overwhelm, and that is
Right.
of a person who is crossed over, who left and can't come back, can't get back, and can't talk to
Right.
the people they need to talk to. And I know that that message, that whatever they have to say, is so important that they're coming to me and they're saying, "Please, please help me.
Can't get
Right.
Please
right.
give this message. I
Right.
can't get this back to this person."
Right.
And it's anywhere from someone's relative to a famous person who you know left under some sort of
So, but that's why
circumstance.
you also so protective of your energy,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
understand that when you interject new energies, whether it
Yeah.
be a person, spirit, whatever, you know what I mean,
Absolutely.
there is an overwhelming feeling,
it
because
it
you could,
changes you.
yeah, yeah, and that's what gets overwhelmed, that feeling of change, and
Yeah.
we talked about that too. It changes
when you
rough.
when you wake up in the morning out of a sleep and you have a spirit in your room and they're telling you something and you don't know them, I mean, you know them but you don't know them, your whole life changes. You have to deal with
Ooh,
what's
shit,
right in
girl, I
front of
don't
you.
even know that you. Phew, let a motherfucker do that. Oh man, I don't know
Oh,
what the fuck I do.
It's some crazy shit. It is some
I
crazy
know.
shit.
I've heard the stories. I've I've sat with people who are genuinely happened to, and you could tell that it genuinely happened to because when they're telling you about it, like they're scared shitless. Like you could feel it. It's wild. You know what I mean?
I wasn't scared. I was very awestruck to the point that I did not know how to respond and why were they there? What
Right.
did they expect me to do for them? And to be honest, it
So
almost
wait.
puts
So let me
you.
ask this though. So how do you set? And that's on like a whole metaphysical plane type shit. How do
Hmm.
you set
I
a healthy
I
boundary?
I grid my bed, and so when I'm leaving and for sleep, that I'm not encountering so much spirit activity that I can't sleep. I spend
So
a
you
lot
got
of
some
time
salt. You
alone.
put some salt. I mean, not to be
Salt,
funny.
yeah, no, salt is a great barrier. I have a
I
salt
wear a
spray that I
bulletproof
keep.
vest.
I have a salt spray that I keep by my bed.
Right.
It's distilled water, sea salt, and a little bit of rosemary and sage in it. And it's in the spray bottle. And if I can't get where I'm needing to go energetically, I spray that all over myself, all over my room,
So
wherever I am.
understand, people.
Um,
If you're just tapping in, we're talking about clarity and how to reach clarity, and we were talking about healthy relationship boundaries. And now our friend Megawatt here, she's tapped in to a lot of shit. So she was giving us her view on how she keeps a healthy relationship boundary between her and the metaphysical, which be in contact with her. So and that just goes for everybody though. Even the people, the spirits that she
Yeah.
deals with, even the physical people. Like these are shit that you could do, even using the salts and shit like that. Like that's
mhm.
a whole other thing as well. You know what I mean? But the point is that we were given signs of unhealthy relationship boundaries and feeling overwhelmed by a relationship that you have, whether it be,
Especially
fear.
constantly, because everybody's going to feel overwhelmed at one point or another, but constantly overwhelmed,
Yeah, like if I
I don't
felt
know.
It's
constantly
different.
overwhelmed
It's
doing
different.
this show, like it would be a bad relationship boundary. You know what I mean? It would be something that we would have to change. But like when you feel that overwhelmingness, like just being in a relationship or a friendship or partnership with somebody, then you got to make sure that you clarify those boundaries with you and that partner to be able to have that a balance between both of you. Was that the last one though, Nova? I know you
No,
said
we
you
got
had
two
10.
more.
Okay.
Two more. All right. So the next one would be as much as you help others, there is never anyone to help you when you need it.
Boy, don't everybody be
So
feeling like that? I see all
we
the folks
heard
that.
that, but how do you set a boundary there? Anybody, like just whoever wants to. How, as much as you help others, there's never anyone to help you when you need it.
When.
Megawatt, you just said something like
Mm-hmm.
that, kind of.
Hmm.
You know what I
I
mean?
did.
So, how do you do that? How do you do you have to go outside of your own energy and self, or is there a way to create it just through calling somebody and paying them, like you're saying? You know what I mean? So, like, how do you set a boundary on that? As much as you help others, there's never anyone to help you when you need it. Or should you
Well,
just not give a fuck, have no expectations, and just live and just do and
that
not expect nothing?
the second is probably a more healthy approach, but that's not how I'm wired, so I
Right.
can't really do that. But I have also learned through having many readings from other people to try to help myself that my reading never reaches the level of clarity that I give to other people. So now I have a little bit of resentment toward other people who do this work. If they can't give me what I can give them in return, we have a problem
I understand.
because
Right.
it's not worth
Yeah.
my
It's
time.
got to be an equal
Right.
energy
Right.
exchange, and
Mm-hmm.
I've
Well,
and I've
okay. So
realized
what
that.
about you? What about you, Jason?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
as much as you help others,
yeah.
you know, on more of the
Okay, like
the stuff you can touch, right? Like,
right,
there's
right,
never anyone to help you when you need it. So,
right.
I mean, how's there?
Um,
Do you just stop fucking with the people? You know what I
no, I
mean?
mean like it depends on it depends on me for real because some things that I do is just a part of me. You know what I mean? Like it's just who I am. So I make sure that if giving that energy to somebody knowing I'm not going to get it back at all, if that is me, if that's me, if that's who I am, if that's what I do, just me, You know what I mean? Like if that's 100% me, then I have no problem doing it. Like I never stop helping somebody who needs help just because somebody might say something, or an outside influence. Everything that I do to help anybody is because I wanted to do it regardless if there was an exchange that was equal or not. Because if I plan on giving you energy that I know that I'm not going to get back, it's because I'll probably get it back. I know that I'll probably get it back in a way that you can't touch. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the help that I've given, even like my nigga Nico, you know what I'm saying, like that's came back to help me, you know what I mean, like in other ways, you know what I'm saying, just on the side, or the help that I may have given another artist, or
Right.
And I didn't
So
have to do
obviously
it.
that comes with some expectations.
Sometimes but that I know that what I do it for me. So even if I'm doing something for you, I'm doing it for me. If that I'm still
Right.
doing it through a selfish intent, if that makes sense. It's
Right.
because I really want to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like you summed it up when you said, "Well, I'm just doing that because that's just me. That's just how I move." And if you're around me, you're probably going to experience that or
Right.
possibly benefit from that because that's just how I am. That's just how I move. That's just what I do. So if you're
And whether you give me anything back or not, I know
right,
that it'll come back no matter, just whether they give it back to me personally or not, I know that it'll still drop through.
yeah. Well, and I think
Also,
sometimes we do things for people, not just me or you, but just everybody. We do things for people not even realizing what we did until we realize it. And we're like,
Right.
man, like I really did that. I ain't have to do all that shit.
Right. But
What's
if I
wrong with
pay
me?
you some
no,
money for
exactly.
something, you better have what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I get that as well when it comes to energy exchange. Like
Yeah.
if it's a direct 1-2, like yo, I'm giving you this, you're supposed to give me this, then it better be what the fuck I want it to be.
Yeah.
And
You can't
and
change it up during the
right,
process.
exactly. Yeah. And
Well, I
then
look
and
at
then
it like
that
this.
creates the bad oh, I'm sorry, B, go ahead.
No, no, no. You
No,
finish
yeah,
your
I was just
point.
saying that brings in a line with how music works in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like if I give you money to mix and master something, it better sound like what I paid you to do. You know what I mean? Or if you give me money to write you a verse or make you a theme song, then best believe it's going to be exactly what you want it to be in exchange for what we had. So those direct energy exchanges like that, I found out the best way to set boundaries there is you can't have a fluid wall in those type of boundaries. Your wall has to be more solid. But for shit like me and Nova, like that wall is more like a bubble of water. It bends and moves depending on what's needed and where the water's needed and where we fill in the blanks. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that shit stays balanced. But with those
Now I'll
direct
say
energy
this.
exchanges, it has to be a solid wall.
Well,
I'll say
I
this.
was.
For
Go
me,
ahead.
for me, it's growing my spirit as far as being a service to others and doing when I do things for people. I don't expect anything in return, like you were saying, stuff, because it's gonna come back tenfold, regardless whether it's from that person or
Right,
whatever. But I also don't think about it in those terms
right.
because even back before I was even into consciousness, I noticed that I did more for the music with my crew than necessarily they did for me, and it was just maybe because I was in that position to be able to be the pharmacist for the studio, paying for this and getting everybody here and there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was just because I was in that position, so I didn't look at it as, oh, these niggas is half stepping and ain't doing nothing for me. When I just was just going, Now I can look back on it now and still say like, damn, if we
But
were
you
to be
didn't do
petty,
nothing you
which
ain't
I'm
want to
not.
do.
Exactly. And I was cool with it. It wasn't like somebody it wasn't like they were leeching. You know what I'm saying? Like I would know that. I would know that energy and nobody that
It's
ever
not
came at me like that
necessarily a
ever got
leech if
anything.
you allow it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I was offering, I wasn't
Right,
or honoring, I should say. I wasn't someone they weren't, hey B, can you be
right, right, right.
I was like if we came to a situation, and I was like, it's no sense in us sitting here thinking about it. I got that. I can handle that. I can do this. I can do that. And I did it without any any thought of, um, oh, y'all owe me now, or later on I'm going, And I'll give you a perfect example. I got family that's like that, that in a position of just got it all, but they only really do things because they know that you're gonna owe them.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I always used to hear this,
My
like
dad,
yo,
my
like
wife's dad is a millionaire, and this dude works for Charles Schwab, and he could solve all the family problems with just one paycheck, and it not even be his money. It could be a loan he took out
right,
with his 800 credit score, and you know
Hey,
what I'm saying? I get you.
Spirit Talk with Lizzie said there is giving and
Giving
there
and
is
there's
exchanging.
exchanging. I was just
That's
about to interrupt and say that because I think B
yep,
Universal was, getting in on that difference there.
that's perfect. That's
yeah,
perfect. So the
that's it.
10th one, how about this? You say you're going to stop, or you say you're going to stop it, whatever whatever, but you never seems to
Oh
happen.
my goodness,
So how do you set the healthy boundary there?
man.
If you say you're going to stop it, but it never happens, like
I
it
think
just
that goes
never
back
seems
to
to
the
happen.
insanity one. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I think it goes back to the insanity
So
one
you keep
because
I
it's
think
hoping
what
for
I say
change, but it
at
never
this
does.
point,
yeah, it never does. It's kind of like the
right,
Yeah.
same thing. I think they kind of go hand in hand. Stop. Well, he was saying stop. So like we were giving out the 10
But see, the only
examples
thing, the
of
only
a bad
difference.
relationship. Hold on. She asked Spirit Talk. I stop what?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was just saying we were talking about the 10 signs to a bad relationship boundary. Because the overall
Or
topic was
10
clarity.
signs to let you know possibly that you need to set some healthy boundaries.
Yeah, that you need to set some healthy boundaries. So if you're allowing somebody to do something to you, if you're allowing something to happen, you're allowing a relationship to be unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like what is the boundaries that you're gonna have to set? Um, and God damn, what was the what was the you say what was the last one again? Say it one more time. No.
Um,
Oh,
you
someone
you
saying
say
keeps
you're
you're
gonna
doing
gonna.
stop,
something.
but
So,
Yeah,
you
say
but
don't
you're gonna
look,
do
stop it,
it.
but
but
you don't.
but think about this though, real quick before. So the quote unquote insanity one was you keep hoping something will change, but it never does. Now, this one is very similar, but it
Right.
says you say you're going to stop it, but that never seems
Right.
to
So
happen, which is what you have
yeah, like,
control
yeah,
over.
I'm not gonna let so and
The
so take
fourth one,
advantage
you
of
don't
me no
have
more.
control over.
I'm not gonna let so and so take advantage of me anymore. I'm not gonna let so and
Right.
so walk
The
on me
fourth one
anymore. I'm
is
not,
you're
yeah,
hoping they're going to change
right,
or whatever, right? And then the
right.
10th, the one I just said is, well, now
Okay,
it's up
I
to
see the
you.
difference. Yeah, now
You know
it's
what I
up
mean?
to
The
Like
you.
now
person,
it's
Okay,
up to
hey,
you. And
the person who can fix it is always the one who has to take the responsibility and accountability,
yeah,
and it's always gonna be you.
But
So
how
for me, that's easy, huh?
how
What?
I
What?
do that is I just pull my energy back from the situation. I just
that's a good.
That's
I
right.
just remove it.
They
I
call
just
that
don't put it out.
cutting that energy
Cut.
string, cutting that tie.
That's right.
And
That's right.
and for me, when I
That's
do
what's
things
best
for
for you.
people, I understand that, and people, I think they get this confused a lot. They think that karma is personal, but it's
Right.
really not. Karma is collective. And I
Mm,
know that if I'm called to do something or I feel pulled to do something, it's because there's a greater purpose or a greater plan that
right.
I don't always understand at the moment. And I go ahead and do it because that's what my people or my guides or my team is telling me
Mhm.
to do.
Mhm.
You know what? In Spirit Talk, what she put in there, because a lot of times when people say like disrespect, when someone's being or is disrespecting, it actually starts with self. You're actually disrespecting yourself first.
Right.
It
You're
has to be
allowing
that.
it.
Well,
Your
point
only
being,
way
if you're
disrespect is
disrespecting,
yeah.
yeah, it's you.
It has to
So
be allowed.
actually, it has to be right. It has to be broken at that point because you might be outwardly disrespecting somebody, but really you're disrespecting yourself. Now they're not taking it as, oh, they're just
Not true.
disrespecting
Yeah,
themselves, so
it goes both ways.
they're
Yeah.
gonna come at you. But the point is it's you disrespecting yourself. Anytime any person
yep.
who really doesn't have that what we call love for self, they're gonna show that
Mm-hmm.
outwardly, and then just proves the
And
point
then
of
it goes
you
back
don't.
to the clarity. There's somewhere in all of these things that make up the clarity. You know what I mean? Of
Yeah.
being transparent, the transparency.
Well,
Finding that
just making the
transparency.
decision to
Oh
take
shit!
the
I didn't see that part.
responsibility.
Spirit talk. First, you have to know. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. I didn't see
Uh,
that part. I saw the
Yeah.
when do
But
you.
it's
This.
weird because
Ah,
clarity is the
that's right.
base word
Spirit
for the
talk
clairs. So
Mm-hmm.
starts with
clair
you.
cognizance, clair augustance, clair sentience, clarity is the part of that base word where
Yeah.
you receive all those informations from.
Yep. You're absolutely right. That's why we don't speak. We speak about,
Right.
being aware
You
instead
gotta
of
get
being
yourself
woke. Like fuck,
first.
we're not worried about that. We thinking about being aware. Fuck the woke shit. It's about being aware. We know
Exactly.
the
And that's
subconscious
perfect
mind.
because being aware goes right into we'll do a part 2 of clarity. I didn't know it'd last this long, but I'm glad it did. But we'll do a
Yeah, it's
part
a dope
2,
talk, man.
and it'll start out with accountability,
Okay.
aka being aware.
He's a rarity.
But yeah, we is coming to the
We
end of
got
the
2
show
minutes.
today. We got 2 minutes, guys. So I'll start with closing statements. I appreciate y'all stopping in for clarity. We'll come through with episode 2 of clarity. Find your clarity. It starts with a lot. Like I said, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all for listening. Visit the thinkhighshop.com. Sign up for the emailing list. We got new music, new everything on the way. But that's it. I appreciate y'all for showing up for this Mindfulness
Oh,
Monday and
and
check.
thinkhighshop.com. Go ahead and grab you a Think High Crew
It's getting
hoodie
cold.
before it gets too damn
It's
cold.
hoodie season. It's hoodie season. Much love to all you Perushas. I learned a new word for supreme being, y'all, so I'm gonna wear that. All you
Thank
Perushas
you,
out
Angel
there.
Bear. Appreciate you. Spirit
Much
Talk.
love.
Anybody else got any last ending comments before we dip up out of this space?
Make a what?
Wholeness and balanced
Anybody?
vibrations, all y'all. Hold it
Hey.
All
down.
right.
I just,
We
just be in your person, be in your body so you can make those correct decisions.
And that's coming from an alien.
I'm not from here. That's true. That's true.
Oh
Hey.
man. All right, man. Well, we will be back tomorrow for FAFO. You know what that means. Fuck around, find out. Tuesday.
ThinkHighShop.com, y'all.
Yeah,
Think
man.
high,
Drip.
live high, vibe high,
Don't
my
slip,
nigga.
get that drip. We got that.
All right,
Don't
we out of
slip,
here.
get that drip. We out.
Don't slip.